GM, everybody. Happy Tuesday.
Yo.
We are back with another set of migrations. Brainlet and Homebrew Robotics, both. We invited both of them, so we'll see if they show up today and want to chat. If not, then it'll be just another lovely session with us. How are you feeling today, Chris?
Good, bro. Let's go. Feeling good. We have Emblem on the horizon. Much anticipated migration that we've been looking forward to, honestly, for years at this point. So it's super cool that the tech is maturing, all of our products are maturing, and we're finally going to get the token that we've wanted for years here pretty soon. So feels like we're firing on all cylinders. How you feeling over there, Jake?
That we are, man. It's been a lot of work. Yeah, we'll dive into the announcement today if we don't hear from the Brainlet or the Homebrew Robotics team that's starting today. Yeah, it's been a lot of work. The migration will begin in 2 weeks. Simple 1 week migration, 25% penalty. We're not changing the game here, although we did have some ideas and inspiration to introduce some new mechanics to the migration platform. I think that'll be coming with, I guess, adopting Emblem token for migrations in general, which I think has some positive feedback loops there, as well as a new dashboard is coming, and then also EVM to Solana, which I had talked with the devs with yesterday. Seems to be going pretty well. It's all up on testnet and hopefully on main in a few weeks. And we start the magical Bobo to Sol migration, which should be pretty interesting, as some people have said that there's a lot of interest of ETH people wanting to come to Sol, which is, I think, pretty bullish. But overall, the market is just dead in general.
Yeah, I mean, this is some of the most quiet that I've seen it basically ever. So the way that it always works, though, every time it gets really, really quiet is when we have like the next innovation cycle. And, you're just kind of like building towards that next spark, because inevitably it always happens. It's happened every single time for the last 15 years. So I bet on it happening again.
Yep. Brew. So Brew's already got 4% migrated in the beginning within the first few minutes here. So we'll see. Actually, this will be a real test to see how active any of these communities are. Getting across the finish line to 10%. Both are 17-day migration. So starting today, both ending on April 10th at different time periods, one at 1 p.m. Eastern, one at 5 p.m. Eastern, but both are ending there and both are underway. Pretty cool. Oh, I wish the Homebrew Robotics guys would show up, because they're also another one of these crypto AI robotic companies. We had one already with the Opus team who migrated and changed their company to pivot towards robotics. But the intersection of those three, I'm a little curious on. I don't know what you could do with that. I guess maybe you're incentivizing your robotic housemaid to do your chores and give them some tokens.
They got to get paid too, right? You have to make their day all right. Can't just force them into slave labor. That's I already see kind of like some of these AI social justice programs kind of beginning, where it's just like you have to treat your AI with respect. You have to kind of, I don't know, just going through the same cycle that we've gone through with everything else before, but now it's catered towards robotics, which is pretty funny.
So you're saying in 20 years, we're going to have the great AI rights movement?
100%. The civil rights era for robots is definitely coming for sure.
I'm excited for that. So it doesn't look like the other two teams are going to be joining us, although they said they would. So we'll dive into the migration announcement from today. Got the attention. We've notified all of our whale holders. Hopefully you get a lot of participation here, right? That's the best outcome for everybody. We've unified the Koval and Fuel people have been migrated 1% of the hustle supply each. And everyone has hustle now. And they're going to have a week to migrate to Emblem, or they'll take a 25% penalty and figure it out. I'm sure a lot of the Koval people are going to have issues. They always do. But we'll figure it out. When we wrote this article, went through the whole token lineage. It's kind of interesting, right? You have River Awards. It started 2014. I think Shannon acquired it in 2015, and then migrated to Koval C on Counterparty in 2018. The Fuel project never hit the market, never hit the public markets, but was supposed to be a dual token system for Koval. Koval made it to Ethereum in 2019. And then you had Tensorium, the first venture to Solana, when we had launched the first stage of the AI project. Keys, and also in 2024, right? That was Runes that we ended up sunsetting last year, as the Runes ecosystem is just completely fallen apart. And then Hustle, right? That's the existence of Migrate Fund. And now we'll be bringing it all home and ending at Emblem. I'll never say that this may be the last migration, but the only time I could see a migration happening in the future is if we build our own layer 1 blockchain or something. We have to move to literally a different chain, or unless Solana just falls apart for some reason, right? You never really know. I don't see that happening, but in this industry, you can never be completely confident in everything, because this industry loves to throw many curveballs. Many curveballs. Do you have the successful migration of the two?
Easy peasy, man. Easy peasy.
Let's go.
No problem. The system works, bro. I can't wait to get this thing public, man. It's going to be fun. We got some fun stuff happening, so it should be fun.
Lots of tokenomics. It'll be the first chance really to move to be a little bit more token focused rather than product focused, right? Been product focused for quite a long time. And now the products are a little bit sustainable and getting good.
Go back to that token list again, Jake. I mean, this is so important for everywhere that we've been and everywhere that we're going. Any sane founder would just walk away from a token and start a new one. But Shannon actually never even had his own token. He inherited Ribbit Rewards and migrated it to himself originally so that the community didn't get burned. And it wasn't even his community. So he inherited a community before everything in 2014. And we've been piggybacking them for over a decade because nobody would want to walk away from burn the holders. So that's why anytime someone tries to say that Shannon's a scammer or doesn't care about the community or anything like that, he's had every single chance in his life to walk away and start a token fresh. And so for so many years, we've been piggybacking these communities with these tokens that some launch, some just don't turn out the way that they're supposed to, like Koval when it got delisted from Coinbase. That's just something that is completely out of our hands and we don't have any control over. And Emblem now is finally the token where everything has been squared away. We have had so much back-end work that we've done to get to this point, and now we finally have the Emblem Vault token, rightfully so. So this is the most exciting time over the last 12 years.
Over the last 12 years, I completely agree. So diving in, there's some brand consolidation that is taking place. The Agent Hustle .ai is now Emblem Vault.ai. So if you go to that site, you'll see that it's been rebranded. The Agent Hustle account has been rebranded to @Emblem AI _. The underscore is there because Twitter's some greedy monopolists that are charging $1,000 a month for AI handles. So we'll figure out a way around that. The Emblem SDK is now the Emblem Developer Platform, which is a combination of, I think there's 5 or 6 SDKs in there. Emblem Vision is now Emblem Terminal, although Emblem Vision is there for people to mint their own vaults if you want to mint your rare Pepes. You can also build your own Pepe minter with the Emblem Developer Platform. I literally used Claude Code and the Emblem SDK and built my own minter. You can literally just go do that. I had no dev experience.
It's crazy.
So anyone could go do that. If you hate Emblem Vision, because I know a lot of people do, you could go build your own. It actually did not take that much effort. Literally a day. It took me 1 day to do it.
Don't say that. We just expect everything else in 1 day as well.
It would literally have taken Shannon 6 months to build that in 2019 or 2018, right? It's literally would have taken that long.
I think the funniest thing is that this is our third innovation on Emblem Vision, but still most people still just use the original Emblem Vision.
Right?
No matter how much we improve it, no matter how many clicks we reduce, people are just creatures of habit. Totally. And they don't like to try the new innovation, even though it's 100x better. So if you're using the old Emblem sites, get on to the new Emblem sites, please.
People still want Emblem.finance, honestly. It still gets brought up quite often. Quite often. Which is kind of funny. So the migration itself, it's going to start on April 7th, so 2 weeks from today at this exact time, and it'll run for 1 week. Be 1-to-1 ratio then. If not, then a 25% penalty. We'll have some more announcements about that migration. We'll likely have it set up next week, so you can go and look at it and stare at it and post about it on Migrate Fun at some point next week. Let me see what else. We did debate doing all kinds of unique situations with unlocked migrations and incentivization and gaming and dynamic MFT claims and a lot of conversation. Ultimately, from where we're at right now, we're just going to go with the standard one and then introduce some new stuff later down the road. Right, it's a bear market, so we've got time to experiment. But the one thing we want to do is put as much effort into the emblem token and get that thing started and firing, because everyone knows AI is going to be the next trend for crypto. So obvious. So what to look forward to in this article that I posted: the emblem terminal. That's going to be everything emblemvault.ai. That's everything Emblem Vault. That's the trading experience that you have now. That's going to be there. We're also going to be adding emblem build, which we've been teasing and improving over the last few months. This is a vibe code platform. So if anyone uses something like Claude Code Desktop, when you go to the top, there's like chat, co-work, and code options. It's essentially kind of what the emblem terminal is going to be. You're going to have a trade option, and you'll have a build option. And so that intertwines nicely with our emblem developer platform, right? The emblem developer platform is basically a suite of SDKs, CLIs, APIs, software, X402, vaults, all that fun stuff, right? That's all before AI. That was all just friendly to devs. I would look at that and I'd be like, there's no way I'm going to build anything with this. But now you can go build your own emblem product through Emblem Build. You don't need any dev experience. I literally built a RWA perps trading platform, or no, it was Spot, not perps. It was called Charles Twat, and I actually had it modeled exactly of the Charles Schwab UI, but it basically just indexed for all of the synthetic stock or tokenized stocks and put it all into a nice experience. Literally, that took me one prompt. I like one shot at that entire thing. So it's going to be as simple as ever for people to experiment. If you like Migrate Fun, I highly encourage everyone to do that. If you want the emblem token price to go up, then you're going to need to start experimenting with some apps. And we have some cool stuff that'll be coming there. There's a lot of negotiations and conversations in the back end. Emblem Vault AI, the Twitter account, right? It's been rebranded, and there's going to be something special coming from there. There's a specific use case that we have for that account that is pretty much ready at this point. Chris, is it ready?
Yeah, I mean, it needs a little bit more testing, but it is ready. All the boxes are checked, so we're ready.
Yeah. We know how the migration stuff goes, right? So you want to release all of the fun experience stuff once the migration ends. And then the last part, Migrate Fun. All right, Migrate Fun still going to continue its own brand. There's no reason to change it. It's the largest and most successful migration protocol in crypto history. 15,000 unique wallet interactions. I think that's actually higher. And I posted this yesterday. 273,000 unique visitors to the site and over 1 million page views.
Let's go.
Since the website views since the platform launched. That is quite a feat. 273,000 unique people to Migrate Fun.
I didn't know that there was that many people in crypto. So
yeah,
just goes to the it's crazy, man. Honestly, the visitor number is nuts because it's not like that's not a wallet number, right? Where whatever you have 10 wallets, that's actual like people clicking in. That's crazy. Yeah.
273,000 unique people, right? And so Emblem will be adopted on Migrate Fun, and there's going to be some cool stuff that we could do there. But first and foremost, we got to get all the hustle holders over to Emblem. Everyone knows how the shtick goes. There, it'll be simple, it'll be straightforward, and yeah, excited for it. Basically, over the next 2 weeks, we have all of our conversations ongoing with protocols, exchanges, dexes, like all that stuff. It's not an easy conversation. It's actually quite a headache. But we'll see. We'll see who joins the team, who's on board. I think Hustle is currently listed on 3 exchanges: KSX, XT, and Grove, smaller ones, but we've notified all of them. So we'll see which one of them support the migration, as well as we've been talking with a handful of them. As you know, these exchanges, right, it's very expensive for listings. It's also a very big game of monkey see, monkey do, where once you start going up the echelon of exchange listings, they don't list you unless these 3 exchanges have listed you, right? And it's kind of like the Spider-Man meme, literally. That's like how the exchanges work. Never ends. Adam and I were on a call with one of them earlier today, and it was like, we don't have a listing fee, but we do have a marketing fee. And then it's like, oh, do I have to pay the marketing fee? Yes, you have to pay the marketing fee.
Of course you do. It's all one big scam, bro. Obviously, if you got into the exchange game, the exchanges were the way to go a while back, because it's so ridiculous. And it doesn't really work for them in the bear market. Like, they're getting no listing payments, no fee, but you just see it as just one big, like, it's such a grift. It's the biggest grift in crypto, man. Because I mean, the reality is now none of these, like, it becomes a marketing tool for teams, but the marketing sucks now. Like, nobody cares because there's no real buyers on those exchanges. It's not like, oh, people can't buy crypto anymore. They have a hard time buying the meme coin. They can't really get Solana. Nobody wants to be bothered. It just doesn't even exist anymore. The friction is so low now that exchanges provide almost no value. Like, I am a firm believer that exchanges, for the most part, are a dying kind of industry. And I think they're on their last breaths here, but it's like, no, you have to be an idiot to think that paying $200,000 for a gate listing is going to, like, bring you all these new holders and stuff. It's just, it's a zero, for all but the, biggest, hugest runners. For the huge runners where, like, it's piercing into, like, it's on CNBC, whatever, your fart coin or something. Okay, that's a different story. But there are like 2 of those a year, 3 of those a year, right? For everybody else, it's just it's lost funds, man.
It's mostly like a liquidity game from what I've learned with exchanges, right? Because if you're buying the token on chain, there's usually a swap fee from anywhere from 0.3% all the way up to 3% if you include the fee of the LP or the AMM, the fee of the platform you're buying on, and the fee of whatever XYZ things. But if you go and have an exchange listing, then your market maker can go and pretty much trade freely, or pretty much or almost feeless, I should say. It's pretty much near zero, right? So you can move liquidity and you can move the market caps around a little bit more. So we'll see. We'll see. I think what we found through the migration experience is who are the good exchanges. And we're going to go through all the conversations with all of them and see, what they can offer. Can't really guarantee anything. There's some strong signs, and, we'll see over time. But from what we see with all of these, like, exchange listings, it doesn't really move the price that much anymore. Like, really, it's very, very minimal.
Yeah, it's a dying industry for anyone that does not list the emblem token, right? Everyone that does is
that's right. Everybody else is
Chad. They've actually never been in a better position ever in the history of their whole trajectory. So there we go.
Yeah. So we'll see, but we are pursuing all options and all partnerships and things like that, and got a lot of cool stuff. Obviously, tokenomics, and the market's just kind of dead, but you just have to prepare yourself for what's next. So continue adding these migrations. You're going to continue have a good time. Brew is up to 7% migrated already, so they're out. Brainlet team is down, is at 0.1. I was probably out of migrating.
It's me.
But they got 17 days, and so they'll work on pulling it all together at the end of the day. So good job there. Are in conversations with some interesting teams about migrating as well. Some pretty big teams. So I'm going to improve that entire process. So since the other teams didn't, everyone please just make sure to migrate your tokens on the 7th. We want as many people to show up in the first 24 hours as possible. That's the giant push. We'll be migrating our tokens. I've notified all of our whales that that's the day. So just get it all done in the beginning. You don't have to worry about it. And then we could move on and have a jolly good old time until then. But while the migrations happen and while the market's down, it feels like crypto has just become one with TradFi. I saw today there was like another announcement that was it the New York Stock Exchange or somebody announced a partnership with Securitize for doing tokenized securities. Feels like 2-3 years from now, maybe like 5 years from now, like stock market's just going to be mostly on chain. It's probably going to be a transition period, as it's going to be really hard to change the habit of boomers. But for the majority of it, like the stock market, I would assume is just looking at crypto as a way to push public equities to the rest of the world that never really had access, right? So it's like a distribution game.
Totally.
Whereas like the crypto companies like DATs, they just wanted to access more liquid markets instead of distribution. But that seems to be, all the DATs seem to be imploding.
Yeah. It's like, how do we, I mean, I think the bigger picture is how do we get the stock market, US stock market, able so some Joe Schmo can buy, QQQ on his phone, right? In Namibia, right? It's like, how do we get every single person on earth to be able to buy this, right? To support our bags, right? And so, yeah, it's the opposite of being a centralized exchange. It's going broad so you can actually access the rest of the world. Because I mean, living outside of the world, I realize that most people do not have access to U.S. markets, do not have access to the U.S. stock market. People who are wealthy and have 401, retirement funds and stuff, they do, but the average person on the street does not. And so, if you want to basically bring in the rest of the world, this is the way. I mean, this is the whole thesis of Robinhood. This is the one trading app to rule them all. This is why Kalshi and Polymarket have their huge vals right now. It's this bigger idea where who's going to be that everything app? Where am I going to be able to buy all investments and all gambling, in one app? So who's it going to be?
Who's it going to be?
Maybe Emblem, baby. Why not us? Why not us, man?
Push it.
Okay.
The one thing I do got to say from this last few weeks is I think Trump is the best bag worker of all time. That guy's the best PvP artist to ever live. This guy is literally taking down countries who try to short his bags. Like watching him go toe to toe with Iran, basically over the oil chart. It's like it literally feels like I'm on crypto Twitter.
We're negotiating with them. They're like, we're not negotiating. What are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, we are. We're very close to a deal.
It's literally like crypto Twitter posting like the fake partnership announcements all the time. It's just like people are just trying to get the price to go one way or the other, and they're literally just PvPing each other. It's actually quite incredible to watch how the stock market trades like meme coins now, because Trump can just do that on a whim. What a KOL.
Pretty nuts, though. I did see. I mean, because the markets do close on the weekends, and Hyperliquid was trading more gold, oil, metals, and everything than like basically any other industry on the weekends. It's the only place to go. It's trading those 4 assets more than it is trading crypto volume. So it's not even a net user base of only crypto traders now. It's actually more of like traditional finance traders, which is bonkers.
It is. So Hyperliquid's pretty much what, the 4th anointed blockchain or 5th, right? I guess you'd say like Bitcoin, ETH, Solana. You got Bitcoin as store of value. You got Ethereum as decentralized smart contracts. Ethereum as Solana as like the transactional layer, I suppose, right? I guess you'd say Ethereum is the settlement.
And then XRP as the swing.
Damn, I actually had a conversation of that this weekend, but yeah, you wouldn't believe it. That's still bigger than ever, man.
Tell me. I mean, it's still normie. Normies are all over it, right?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got XR or Hyperliquid is the house of finance, the perp chain, I guess. Right, it's just gonna dominate everything. I guess maybe you could say Binance chain is the East chain of East, but I don't know. Still TBD on that one. So I don't know what's left. I think there's still like a gaming chain. There's still got to be the gaming chain. And I don't know what else there is out there, I guess. But XRP is not a security, so we're good.
So you think Hyperliquid has gotten to that part now where it's kind of it's a one product. There's no like nobody's gonna be able to overtake their network effects at this point in
I
time.
don't think so. I mean, right, Hyperliquid was not the first to be a decentralized perp DEX, right?
Right.
I think that was DYDX, I think was the first one. And then there was a few others in between. There was like one on Polygon. It was called like GT or TG or GMX. Oh, GMX is what it was. Right. So Hyperliquid was not first, but they did it the most efficient. They did it on Arbitrum. And now, yeah, I think they're just like too big. I think they just have so much adoption that I see a hard time anyone defeating them unless the New York Stock Exchange or somebody comes out and tries to build their own, or maybe Robinhood. But at this point, I don't know. I don't even know if Robinhood could do something like that.
Yeah.
You're just never too big. You know, FTX was like $35 billion and it is worth 0 today. So I don't know. Crazy industry. You never know what's going to happen, but they do have the market cornered at the moment.
Yeah. And then prediction markets, you got Polygon or Polymarket. I wouldn't be surprised if Polymarket just builds their own chain at some point, or they just buy Polygon and turn it into their own. I would not. I mean, like, what else is on Polygon at this point, right? It's like I was listening to a podcast the other day. I think it was one of the Solana ones, and they were talking. Oh, maybe it was Blockworks, and they were talking about the fat app thesis, and it was basically like we're going to be to the point where the apps are going to be worth more than the chains finally. Like that was always a question of if that's going to happen. Now I think it's more of a question of when. Right, like literally, I would not be surprised if Polymarket was like 90% of Polygon's transactions.
But why not just start its own chain? Why just burn the cash and buy Polygon when they can just
Yep.
fork it or whatever else? I don't know.
That's true. That is true. They are getting a lot of enforcement. I saw that the Nevada Gaming Control Board's now suing them, which we said that was going to happen like a year ago. A few others, Arizona, New Jersey. The question is, are they going to lose? I don't know. I have this weird feeling that I think prediction markets are going to come out fine. I think they're actually going to come out on top.
Too much money involved with them to not come out okay. I'm sure they're paying millions in, right now lobbying. So I just, if gaming and those guys, DraftKings and them were able to overcome this, these guys have way more money than those guys did, way more, and are more deeply connected, right, into government. And so I can't see these guys going away. I don't know whether or not they're going to be the winner. Maybe they are. I mean, what I've heard is that, okay, the hardest thing to get is liquidity. And so if Polymarket has the liquidity, then they're going to be the winner. But can they be the everything app or the big trading app and bring in stocks and all this sort of stuff? I don't know. It's a tough game, man. These are big players, and they're going up against fucking killers, whether it's Robinhood or even, Coinbase and stuff. So it's not going to be, this is not a walk in the park, but these are the big players, man. I think Kalshi raised, what they raised, $1 billion or $2 billion last week. I mean, that's like crazy town. Like, we've lost all sense of what it takes to raise money. We've gone into like, which just tells you there is nowhere to put money anymore. There's like nothing. There's no real businesses anymore. It's all just like hopes and dreams, man. And so fucking, I mean, can you imagine Kalshi? The fuck? How much money have they made so far? I mean, it's nothing. They make no money.
You're just raising to raise. They're just doing it to do.
Like, it's crazy. But that's where we are right now. It's fucking end of days, man.
I think Chris was talking about that last show, or maybe we were just talking about how Uber, they came out with their strategy of how they raise, and they said they would just always be raising just because, just to do it, just to say that they can
Always be raising. That's the like motto of a startup or even a mature business, is that you're always fundraising no matter what, because you don't know when you're going to need that emergency lifeline. In terms of these prediction markets, they are just like in the crosshairs of every major regulator in the whole country, in the whole world, really, whether it's like traditional finance or legacy gaming. Those are some of the biggest lobbyists in the whole world. These are like actual cartels that control these industries. So, I mean, I expect them to be bogged down in regulation for a long time. I wouldn't be surprised to see them get so bogged down in regulation that they eventually just get acquired by someone who has the licenses that they're going to be needed to succeed, or even just some of these other partners come out with a better product while they are in this like regulatory gray area and they're just kind of fighting for survival. So I don't know. I don't really envy where they're at. It's always hard to be a pioneer, right? You're in the crosshairs of everybody, and then someone else comes up and just rides your coattails. And honestly, a lot of times they might have a better shot at succeeding because they don't have all of the legal trouble that you do.
Polymarket should just buy Caesars Entertainment, and then they have the licenses.
Seriously, something like that would be like probably in their best interest.
It's probably, I mean, at the amounts that they're raising, they could literally go buy Caesars Entertainment for like 10 billion or whatever it is, like on the public markets.
I mean, you think about like Polymarket having that ability to launch their own chain. I'm with Chris. Like my thesis, I don't know what it was, 6-8 months ago, where maybe Polygon will get a bump here because they have the killer app this cycle, right? That was fucking wrong. But for Polymarket, the ability for them to launch a chain, it's tremendously valuable, right? Like, where you control the entire token supply, and you can sell it. I mean, it's like this entire other, raise mechanism that they have at their fingertips and can do at any time. It's pretty awesome. I mean, you even look at what, Stripe did, with the chain the chain they launched, and I know it doesn't have a token right now, but dude, it can have a token at any time, and it becomes this whole other kind of mechanism for these companies to access. It's really incredible.
Yes, sir. Well,
are we going to comment on that dog laying behind you, bro? That is
right. I usually kick him out of the room, but he would not leave today.
So I was going to. He's just.
I want to be part of the show, bro.
He wanted to be part of the show. Yeah, it's trying. Sometimes they won't leave.
So
said, all right, you just got to be quiet. Got to be quiet and hang. Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess the question is, when does this bear market end? That's what everyone wants to know. I've been seeing, it feels like it's, I think the price is bottomed, to be honest. Sentiment definitely is not, but it's definitely in that act of despair where all of the group from 2021 or the meme coin communities, influencers are saying that crypto is never going to come back. Crypto Twitter's dead. I've seen that like at least 5 or 6 times in this industry. Granted, the X algorithm is a lot different this time around, so it's much easier to get washed out. But it was kind of always like this. It's always just super boring during these markets because there's really nothing to talk about because price always leads interest.
I mean, I would just say like it's something has to happen in crypto where some sort of use case or something has to reinvigorate people at this point in time. Because right now, crypto's literally gotten everything it wanted for the previous decade. Has actually like happened. And it's like, what happens to the kid who gets everything? He starts fucking crying, right? It's too much. It's too much fucking winning, right? And there's no the use case, which is right here. It's actually happening, but we're so overwhelmed with it that it's like, crypto, who needs it anymore? And I think in a lot of ways, the whole space, has to shift and change. And and I think there was a great article on it, 6-8 months ago, where it's like, this is the time where crypto has to pivot to not focusing on crypto users, but on real users. I think that time is now. And when that kind of first use case happens, I think that'll be a wake-up call for people that, oh shit, crypto got integrated into fucking whatever, Pokemon, and this is happening, and shit, it actually works, and shit, there's actually value to people who are in this one thing. And so right now it's like Polymarket, nobody's been it. Like none of us own fucking Polymarket, right? So there's nothing to own. So none of us have won, right? Kalshi's the same. All these kind of winners this cycle, it's like it wasn't base chain, it wasn't anything. And so none of us took part in it. Even like Pump Fund, right, was the huge winner, and none of us fucking benefited from it, right? So
when airdrop,
bro. I saw Alon post the other day. He retweeted an old post, and I was like, okay, is he going to do the airdrop now? But like, whatever. What are we going to wait for the OpenSea airdrop? It's just none of those are going to bring crypto Twitter back. I think it has to be in this case. That's my view.
I would say it just has to do nothing. I think it's exactly where it needs to be. And it's right now, it's an alternative financial system that has heavy speculation. And the worse that the traditional world gets, the better this financial system looks. And so you have like credit card debt at all-time high. You have oil prices skyrocketing. You have midterms coming up. You have the consumer just completely sidelined from everything ever. And so the more that the consumer breaks, the more intervention the Federal Reserve and all these global central banks have to have in terms of like market support and stimulus in some sort of fashion. And I think that we get more so of like a 2020 situation where, you know, the consumer is pretty tapped out. Oil keeps on going up. They can't even afford to drive their cars anymore to get to their job, that they don't even make enough money to pay their bills. And then you get AI continuing with layoffs all over every single industry ever. I don't see how there isn't huge financial fiscal support from global central banks, and we get the run up that everyone saw coming over the last 2 years.
Weird times, to say the least. Not much to really talk about, right? It's kind of everyone just twiddling their thumbs. I mean, AI is continuing to grind. Like if you dive into the AI projects, it really feels like there's like the same projects we were talking about a year ago are the same ones that exist today. Yeah, Banker still cruising along with their LLM gateway. They got the most projects. Saw Hanon is coming out with their own agent launchpad. They're going to use Anon as the quote token. That's going to be interesting. Historically, generally a disaster for most people who try to do that, but Danielle has experience in DeFi, so maybe he has some liquidity games that he's going to play. Griffin officially dead, as the founder got hired by MoonPay. Never once posted about Griffin. That was kind of funny. Literally the working in silence to exit is I think what happened. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna see what's going on with Wayfinder. But outside of that, I don't really know of any other ones that exist outside of us. What was that one project that raised like $80 million that you went and all they had was the limit order app?
Yeah, the Newton.
I haven't heard of them in a long time.
You think that's still around?
Bro, we got to figure out a way to just short stuff, because it's like you realize this fake upon fake, more fake, the fakest of fake. They were the fakest I saw this cycle. They were uber fake. And now, you know, they tried to pivot to be like a wallet, and they tried to be a this and a that. I mean, by pivot, I mean they just make an announcement they're going to be something else. They don't actually build that thing.
Oh, yeah, it looks like they've actually completely dropped AI. Newton Protocol. I think this is the same one, right? Newton Protocol is the authorization layer for stablecoins, RWAs, and agentic AI. A $250 trillion asset market, compliance enforced before settlement.
Yeah, exactly. I can make up word salads too, and but as long as I don't build anything, that's great. And I loved it. I don't know. A few months ago, I clicked through an article on them where they were saying they had 250 partners and blah, blah. It's like, bro, it's all I mean, this is like, where's that law firm? To basically sue guys, because this is like the perfect example. I mean, it's just like it's fraud upon fraud upon fraud. And I mean, hey, some of the greatest businesses ever have been built on hopes and dreams until they finally hit. But this is not one of them. And like it's so obvious. Real world policy enforcement on any smart contract. Wow. I don't believe you. You are a liar. You are the biggest liar of the cycle. But they raised $60 million, including from Balaji and all this sort of stuff. And that was their first hype cycle, was they raised all this money from big investors. I remember one of our airdrop farmers was like, friends who was like, oh, these guys had the biggest booth at ETH Denver, not this year, but the previous year. Like this was the one to airdrop farm. And sure enough, there were millions of Nigerians farming this one. And they got pennies and everybody was pissed. And at the end of the day, none of it matters because it's all bullshit. And it's just bullshit on bullshit. It's truly these sort of things. We've got to drive this sort of shit out of crypto. It's like this sort of bullshit VC stuff is just, it's my least favorite part of crypto. And it's so easy to spot, dude. It's like you can spot this shit a mile away. And it is what it is. Those guys are pure motherfucking crypto.
It's crazy. I mean, over the last year, having conversations with some of the teams who have approached us about acquisitions or about their troubles or partnerships and stuff like that, who end up pivoting from the initial vision. The whole thing for them, and I was kind of doubtful this type of behavior existed, but this is the only behavior from what I've seen from people who raise VC is we have the money and the investors aren't getting the money back. And so we basically have the authority to do whatever we want.
Yep.
Right. And I've seen people literally scrap years of development to chase whatever the new thing is and just completely change their whole business model because they have a few extra $1 million cash sitting there that they can go waste away. And investors have basically already wrote it off as zero. And it's basically just like free money, I guess.
The beauty of like a Newton, though, is that they don't actually have to build anything. They literally just spin up a website and then they can pivot to anything and they just change the words on the website. And that's all they do. They never actually build the thing, right? That's the fucking beauty of that sort of shit. Like, is those guys are actually not building anything. It's all just scam. And it's amazing to fucking see.
It's funny that I'm on their site. Remember when we were reviewing them a year ago? It was like private beta.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's still private beta. It says there's a demo that you can sign up for.
Yeah, you don't say.
So there's
they pivoted from a DCA app, which lets you DCA into like 3, ETH, Bitcoin, and fucking, I don't know, Solana. They pivoted away from that. Bro, it's like this is
what they have now. It's a quick start demo. So I'm just trying to review this. Before they had a quick start demo, remember it was a limit order thing?
Right.
So now
TCA thing. They had to
choose. So you got this demo here. The first thing says apply policy. So I'm gonna click on all 3 of these. Select a recipient. So I'm gonna choose this anonymous sir.
Such bullshit, dude.
And then it verifies the results. Is this it?
It's supposed to be like, oh, congrats, you've just completed your fully. Dude, I could make this fake site in 2 minutes using Emblem Build. Completely fake. I mean, anybody can do this. It's all fake, bro. It's literally.
That's crazy. This is just this is actually less than what the limit order app. At least the limit order app, they were able to perform some transactions.
Awesome. They actually said, you know what, we were doing too much. We got to pump the brakes. You're doing too much. But I think that the incentives here are that, you didn't ever actually have to build anything in crypto. You just had to sell the dream. And I do think that time is coming to an end. And I think that once you see some real crypto infrastructure companies get acquired and build real businesses with real users, and that paints a different dream into the hearts and minds of different founders where they actually do have to build stuff. So like in the traditional app world, you can't just build a useless app because no one's going to use it. So the incentives are to build a useful app. And here in crypto, I think it's going to go the same route. So, I look at Emblem AI and where we are today and how far we've come over the last 18 months. It's truly amazing. The general scope of it, whether you're a meme coin trader, whether you're an infrastructure builder, whether you're an NFT collector or someone interested in learning about art, whether it goes to looking at our friend Verdandi and seeing her art profile and things like that, and just how it's all fully encompassed into one platform. Is Binance AI going to have something like that? Or similar to the general AI wars, is it going to look like they have their finger on the scale and they're going to be pushing Binance tokens and Binance infrastructure and Binance outputs for everything that you're looking for? So to be a neutral party and to be a pioneer of all this, I think just makes us the most powerful position that we can imagine. Hey,
by the way, did you see the underneath the Binance announcement? People had posted screenshots of like retarded takes from the Binance AI. It was great, man. I was like, this is so good, bro.
But I think it just reinforces that everyone needs the AI strategy. And we've been building it for almost 2 years now. And so Binance is one company, but everybody needs a crypto AI strategy, especially if you're a traditional finance player or if you're a big crypto Web3 player like Coinbase or Kraken or OKX or any of these things. Everybody needs an extremely strong crypto AI platform or crypto AI strategy, and we're like some of the only people in the whole industry that have been building it. So we're going into an interesting future.
Wow. So I got an update on AI. So Wayfinder, the founder says Wayfinder has shipped several functional upgrades, but we see a much larger opportunity for it to evolve into critical infrastructure for agents. We're also continuing to expand the utility of prompts, which is their token, and explore adjacent use cases that we believe can unlock meaningful value for the broader market. As capital attention and product innovation increasingly converge around AI, our focus is building tools that can serve as enabling infrastructure for that shift. I guess it's kind of what we're doing. Although we're releasing products, they've released a bunch of products recently. It looks like there's like an SDK. Remember they were crafting around strategies, which was like the vault strategies. Looks like they've already changed that now.
Yeah, they were basically what we would call maybe skills now.
Mhm.
They were like you could make your own.
They were early
skill
to it,
and,
yeah.
and then sell it, right? Whereas like if people use it, then it returns revenue. So that idea, you know, I kind of give them credit for that idea, which we would now call skills. They thought they could monetize it. It's
Did not work.
did not work. So much of this stuff, like, I mean, we're all kind of fiddling around in the dark, but we are, I think people just generally have the same motion towards very similar things. But you got to keep in mind, the AI thing is still so early. I saw a post a pod with, is it Andre Karpathy or whatever that dude's name is? I don't know if you guys listened to that pod, but the woman asked him, like, what's the most mind-blowing moment you have, using your OpenClaw or whatever it was. And bro, it turned out to be like him hooking up his fucking sound system in his house or whatever. It was like the mind-blowing thing. And it's like, it brings this moment. It kind of puts in I'm not saying that that's not cool or actually kind of incredible, but it's still like we're still in so much of the toy stage of AI. We feel like it's going fast, and it is going fast, and like anybody who's building anything is like, holy shit, having all these holy shit moments. But we're still at like we're in like really the baby steps, when literally a leader in the industry is saying the best thing he's had happen was that he got his Sonos hooked up in one shot at his Sonos system. Like, it puts it in perspective. We're still in the very early stages of even AI, right? And so for us, like building kind of this key piece of infrastructure, I think it's pretty fucking exciting, because it's like you realize that there are only a handful of us building at this crypto infrastructure kind of inflection point for AI, and who are going to be the winners. Like, it's very possible it is fucking us, which is insane to think about, but here we are.
All we got to do is just make the number go up and everyone will funnel back to us.
Everybody. Yes, right.
So everyone on this chat needs to vibe code some crypto apps when we launch Emblem Build.
There we go.
And that'll get timeline. When people see that they could build shit, that's going to change. I've tried some of these crypto vibe coding apps. They do not work.
Yeah.
Not really.
And one thing too is we're running back we're so lucky to be a platform rather than just a standalone product or a standalone feature. And I see a lot of people building AI features that are just going to get totally overcome by a platform like us, because what's to stop us from just taking your skills and importing them to the Emblem AI product and upgrading our skills? You know what I mean? So once it's out of the bag, now we have your skills plus all of our other feature sets. So to be a platform going into this generation of AI usage is the best kind of moat that we can have in a world where moats are almost non-existent, right?
And it's just really hard to be good, right? Which we've gone through many, many cycles of what was Hustle, now is Emblem AI, and gone through them being great, and then you're not being so good, and it's like this constant learning experience. And Binance is obviously bumping up against that today, like, shit, this kind of sucks, and people see it kind of sucks, right? So what are you going to do to get better? And that's just if you're using any of these AI tools. I mean, signed up for one of these ones that was being shilled on the timeline the other day. It was like a social media one, like, oh, just put in your website. I put in my wife's soap company. It comes back with literally the worst ad I've ever read in my life. They want me to put this on Facebook. I'm like, bro, no way I'm putting this on Facebook. This isn't even like, it was completely unusable. It was an unusable tool on what is a very basic thing, like buy soap. and it was so awful. And this was being pushed on the timeline. These guys had raised over $10 million, in VC funding. And it was like their product was dog shit. Like I could literally probably vibe code a better one, using Emblem Build. And theirs was fucking dog shit. And I don't know if it was because they were using like a cheap LLM, you know what I mean? Very possible. But it was fucking awful. And you just realize there's that to me makes me very happy, because it's not hard to be like much better than everybody else.
Claude told me some wise words, and we'd said this on the show before, that the disruptors in the AI evolution are the apps. If you're an app, you're going to be disrupted. If you're a protocol, right, that's your moat. And Claude even reiterated that when we were talking about some feature components to the build product. And Claude said that the SDKs are the moat in the agentic world, because the SDKs is backend infrastructure that's native to the underlying protocol, which isn't something that the AI can go build, because sometimes it's not always fully open source, or there's a lot of nuance within it to make sure that people don't, or there's a lot of nuance with it. Like, for example, the Emblem Bridge SDK, right? So basically what Emblem Vision is, there's no way for Claude to know that people that rare Pepe, or that Pepe cash is 1 penny card, so therefore you should make the vaulting fee $1 versus the other ones being $20, because the arbitrage opportunity between counterparty and ETH is this spread or whatever. Like, there's no way for Claude to figure that out. So the SDKs have an extreme amount of nuance in all of them. This is from all protocols. And so I think this is why you're seeing a lot of these CLI launches, right? So like MoonPay and OpenSea and stuff like that, as well as more SDKs, MCPs, because all the main people realize that is the moat, is your SDK infrastructure. And again, you're ahead of the game. Unfortunately, just don't have a million people on the team to push the agenda or hire for these KOL campaigns like Magic Eden does. But kind of a goat for Magic Eden to do a KOL campaign on the closing of your marketplace. That was kind of wild.
Super insane.
That was insane behavior. I don't know I don't know who thought that would be a good idea.
Do you think it's just like they had a deal to always like be running KOL campaigns, and this was just like a continuation of their monthly bill, which was like,
it's like, this is the last payment.
Yeah, this is like more fucking out there.
One last thing on the Binance, like why Binance AI would be bullish and just like the most exciting time for AI builders like ourselves. It's because there's a huge learning curve that's taking place, that so many people interact with crypto in the on-chain world through like a desktop wallet like MetaMask or something of that sort, or a mobile wallet like Phantom. But we're completely changing the infrastructure and the learning curve to, you're going to interact with an agent through a terminal that will then act on your behalf. And so there's so much learning that needs to take place. And there's only a few companies that are doing it ourselves, Banker, and now maybe Binance. And the more people that we can get on this curve to introduce crypto to the world through the terminal is just so huge for the sector that we're building in. And obviously it helps that we're a leader in innovation in that kind of sector. But the more people that we can get to really push the narrative that the terminal is how you're going to interact with the on-chain world, that's the best thing that we can ever ask for a company like ours.
Yep. The Bloomberg terminal, ahead of its time. That's how you interacted with the stock market. Now the terminal is going to be how you interact with the on-chain economy. You just got to continue to innovate it. Some people just continue to throw things around, and we will. Ultimately, it's going to come down to the community, right? If you're actually using and building with this stuff, even if it's just a slop app, right? You'll push the agenda, and then people will come literally funneling in. And with Emblem Build, you can build anything. Chris built like a PFP generator, right? Or something like a tokenized PFP generator, or something like that. I see Shannon building a lot of visualized dashboards with aggregating data. The cool part of Emblem Build is that I would say that the main difference that I've seen between what we have and what some of these other competitors have is the other vibe coding ones. There's like two. They start at the smart contract level. So you tell them what you want to build, right? So you say, you have to build like an NFT marketplace or a DeFi protocol or whatever. And you have to start with the smart contract. So you're basically limited to just crypto applications. We have something different where you build basically a web application and you attach crypto features to it. So you could go in and I built it. I'll just say it. So if you go to a website called whoismyrep.us, I basically built a web application for tracking US representatives. You could go to the website right now. Actually, I'll go to it right now.
Pull it up, man. Let's see.
Basically what I'm going to do, I was doing this just for testing. I haven't put the crypto stuff into it yet, but I just wanted to see how it would work, right? So I basically built this website, whoismyrep.us. It tracks political representatives from all states, right? So you could come in here. It looks like I need to update it because it's failing to get some API stuff. But you could come in. Yeah, I haven't gone through this in a week. But you could come in, you could find different political officials. Yeah, it looks like my API credit's expired. But what I put up here is a sign-in feature, and you can sign in with your email. But eventually what I'm going to do is add the Emblem wallet so you can sign in with a crypto wallet, which you're actually signing in with a vault. And then I can integrate Polymarket into this, right? And then you could start basically tracking Polymarket for these different political officials and start tracking their their stock trackers, and then you can start copy trading and doing all these things based off of political representatives, all built inside of Emblem Build, where you start with the web application first and integrate crypto after, versus the other ones where it's you start with crypto first. Because we always felt like if you're somebody who's not new to crypto, you're not gonna know what the fucking NFT marketplace is. Right? You're like, what the hell is that? Like, but you know that you want to build an Etsy for your whatever, I don't know, for Etsy for your knit shop, and you want to add a crypto wallet so that you can accept USDC, right? Like that's literally a simple Emblem Build product, which I don't think anybody else is doing, at least not from what I've seen. So, and that the moat for that is the Emblem SDKs, the Emblem Wallet SDK, the Emblem Agent SDK, so you can add an agent component. So what you see on Emblem Vault.ai, you can also attach to the site, and the Smart Vault SDKs and stuff. So taking all those features, packaging into a nice vibe coding app. But you could go build the NFT marketplace if you wanted to. So just think of it in that is we're positioning ourselves to go after non-crypto natives or anybody really, right? That's the first and foremost. So turn a little bit more into a marketing angle. And I've been learning a lot through Chris on what all these different agencies and stuff are doing. So prepare.
Yep, we're ready. We're ready. Just kind of going from heads down building to heads down marketing. So really the platforms are, reaching somewhat levels of maturity in each of their own sectors. And it's time to really get these funnels rolling and get these users on board and really take it to the next level. So this is the time to be an Emblem Bull.
So Wood and Metal says, so I could build a pool company website and integrate crypto with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you want to.
Yeah. You could build any app basically with the Emblem. It's called the Emblem Auth SDK. It's going to be rebranded as the Wallet SDK. You literally, the cool part too, actually, is if you sign in with X, right? If you sign into Emblem Vault.ai with your X account, those funds will be portable to your pool company if you sign in with that X account. It's the same exact funds transferred over to that account. So then it's universal to all Emblem Build applications. So if you sign in with your Google account to whoismyrep.us that I built, Emblem Vault.ai, your pool company, Verdondi's art store, it's all the same funds in that wallet. You don't have to do anything. So very portable. And yeah, that was our initial thought. Most people are just going to want to build a website first, and then you add crypto to it afterwards. And that's kind of when I was building Who Is My Rep, I initially started as just like a Nevada political tracker, right? Because I live in Las Vegas. And then I was like, oh, I should make it to all the states. And then I was like, oh shit, I want to track Nancy Pelosi's stock. Then I was like, oh fuck, maybe I can have Agent also copy trader. And then I was like, oh my God, maybe I can integrate Polymarket into this. Right. And it just like keeps expanding until you're like, oh, maybe I should launch a token against this, a rep token to integrate into it. Right. And then you start thinking, but there's no way I would have started with crypto first.
Yeah, no way.
Right. You start with the typical web page, and then you kind of gravitate. That's what vibe coding is. And that was kind of my first experience of vibe coding. So I was just letting the thing tell me, hey, what can I upgrade here? What can I do here? Oh, maybe if I had crypto, what can I do here? And it's fun. I see why people get so sucked into it. Obviously, it's a big productivity boom, but it could also be a productivity trap if you just continue to optimize for the same thing with never building. So the goal here for us would be, you can see a future where if you have emblem build and an emblem token, right? There's different tokenomic integration points there, but as different people are building different applications, people are coming in using emblem, you get this flywheel, people coming to the terminal, and it's all one ecosystem. The cool part is you have a trading interface and a build interface all in one single, but it's going to take the whole community to do it. And obviously, right, Banker is a good example. Their whole community completely bought into what they're doing, supports, uses all their products, even if they're not really familiar with how any of it works. And they bought in, and now look where they're at, right? They're at $100 million market cap. They're making, I think he said he made like $8 million in the first quarter through like that explosion. And the thesis for them is right, or at least proven right. So it's going to take our community as well to do the same thing.
Let's go.
Let's go. It's going to be fun. Back to work. Yeah. Until then, we'll wrap it up here. We'll continue to grind it out. Migrate your Brainlet or Brew if you are a holder of them. If not, then prepare for Emblem migration in 2 weeks. So 3 weeks from today, we'll be into the next chapter of the Emblem era. Until then, everyone, please have a fun and safe Tuesday, and we'll see you soon.
Later, guys.